Hi, guys. I'm David with Transparency Fitness Live, and today we're going to be hanging out with Jeremy for this week's podcast, and I'm going to let Jeremy kind of introduce himself. He's had a huge weight loss journey in the last 4 years, a couple different times, actually, as he's told me, but I'm going to let him give you a little background, and we're just going to talk about his weight loss journey and how he got there, how he started, how he got there, all that exciting stuff.
Well, thank you for having me on, David. Well, my name is Jeremy. I have been on a weight loss journey for... Well, probably I would say 30 years, but the more recent one has actually been the last 4 years.
Okay.
I have lost to this point, well, the most I lost was 150 pounds. But as of late, I've actually been working more on building muscle, so I have been getting a little bit bigger.
Oh, so we're gaining the weight again.
Yes, we're gaining the weight.
The right weight,
The
though.
right weight. There we go.
He's going back. He's gaining weight, but wait a minute, it's muscle, so it's all good.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Hey, burns more calories.
You at your heaviest, you were
350 pounds.
350 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
and then at your lightest, though, you were 165. I think you told me.
165. Yes.
So almost a 200-pound difference.
Yeah.
From the worst to your lightest, I guess. I won't say at your best because I think right now you're at your best.
Well, I guess it's a matter of opinion. I will tell you this. Right now, I feel better than I have my entire life. I will say this, though. When I was at 165, my athleticism was a lot higher than it is now. Like, I've noticed that since I have adjusted my journey from less of a, cardio, that was pretty much my entire journey for the first 3 years. It was basically cardio, a lot of CrossFit, stuff like that. And since I've transitioned, I still do cardio because it's important to get at least 120 minutes in a week. I still try to do that cardio, but it's so much more fitness, weight training, that I feel like my cardio is going down a little bit. So,
well, and so there is a balance, right?
Yes.
You either have multiple hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm kind of lucky in that aspect as a personal trainer, to where I can focus on cardio and weightlifting together. But most people have 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
A good lifting routine is 45 minutes to an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't necessarily include stretching and or core work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got to talk about cardio on top of that, and
Yep.
then you're like, wait a minute, I don't like cardio.
See,
I guess I don't have to do it today.
so you say 45 minutes. My trainer doesn't agree with you on that. I tend to be there for almost 2 hours. So
Does he really? Does he?
A lot of it has to do with the actual type of exercise I have. It can be anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on what I have in there.
So what's kind of your rep count right now? You're doing straight strength at the moment,
well,
right?
right
Hypertrophy.
now, no, right now I'm doing a cut.
Okay.
When I was doing the mostly strength bulk, I was usually between probably about 3 to 8 rep range.
Okay.
For each of the.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So he went with the lower
Mm-hmm.
rep. Okay.
Yeah, we're going more heavy. Now we're getting more, today's workout was 4 sets of 15. So I basically.
Some more endurance based.
Exactly.
Stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Trying to lose a few more pounds.
I get that. Well, I mean, with the cut, that
Mm-hmm.
totally makes sense. So,
Yeah.
how many exercises did he have you? I mean, 2 hours seems like a lot, especially for a cut. Because when I envision a cut, I envision a lot more high rep, less time in between the reps, and more cardio based workouts to keep that heart rate up.
Well, he changes the workouts pretty frequently, and my trainer is Deloyd. It's a little shout out to him. But
Deloyd.
no, it depends on the workout. He switches it up quite often. I do have a set program within a month or so.
Okay.
That will kind of stick to those types of workouts, but the time frame depends on today. I did 6 total weight training workouts, and then I did elliptical between each body part.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I basically did elliptical 50 calories before. I would do my chest.
So you go in with your heart rate up,
Exactly.
and then you end with your heart rate up.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that one, I think today's took about an hour.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess walk me through the journey, 350 pound you,
Mm-hmm.
getting down to 165 pound you. I want to hear I down to when did you decide that you're going to do this, or how did you decide, and then how did you find your personal trainer? Why did you decide to go with the person? Talk to me as if I am you 4 years ago trying to figure everything out, so that because I'm sure people listening in that might be interested in kind of what that process looks like.
The process is different for everybody, I've noticed.
Of course.
Yeah. I will tell you this. I've had, I told you before, I've had multiple journeys.
Right.
This is not my first time I've lost weight. the first time I actually lost 100 pounds before. Back in 2000, I think it was in 2012, 13. Basically that time I did straight cardio. The reason why I wanted to do it is because I just wasn't feeling good. I could tell I was just in a very rough place in my life, and the weight doesn't help. It's a very bad cycle. You know, you kind of get depressed because you're overweight, but then you eat to try to make you less depressed, and it just basically is a cycle.
Right. You can't get out of it.
No, you can't get out of it. But I had another trainer at that time, and you know, I didn't listen to her as much as I should have. I always thought cardio. That's how you lose weight.
So your first trainer that you had, you didn't take her as serious as you feel like you probably should have.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was one of the great. Like, she really emphasized weight training. And I've always heard cardio. You know, I need to get in there, do hours of cardio, and maybe a little bit of weight training, you know. And I lost a lot of weight. But what ended up happening was I think it's called skinny fat. I think that's
right. You're skinny, but I really call it skinny unfit, right?
Yeah.
So you're skinny. Like I absolutely love my roommate, great guy.
Yeah.
I would not really consider him overly fit,
Yeah.
due to his diet and his lifestyle. He plays a lot of disc golf, which is great, but that's like and a little bit of bowling, but that's the only cardio he does.
Yeah.
But he'll buy like a Little Caesars pizza, sit down and literally eat a whole entire Little Caesars pizza and be so proud of himself because he's trying to put on weight. And all I can think is like, oh, you look healthy, but I know you're not healthy.
See, you say that, I hear amateur hour. I could put down 2 of those when I was
amateur. Yeah, right. Yeah, when you're hungry or you're just like, I'm just eating for the taste.
Oh yeah,
you can eat some food.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was basically the first journey,
okay.
And a lot of things happened, you know, and you know, life happens. I had to help take care of my grandmother. And, I chose to take care of my grandmother. You know, a lot of things happened, and you just lose track, you know, and I ended up gaining more weight than I lost.
Okay.
I ended up gaining probably 150, 170 pounds. And the second time, this current journey, where it really hit me was twofold. I went to the doctor, and I had basically been told I've had a lot of health issues.
Okay.
I had sleep apnea. I had fatty liver.
Did you have trouble sleeping?
I did. Yeah, I had to wear the machine every night.
But even before you found out about the sleep apnea, were you struggling with sleeping just in general?
Yes and no. When I started to gain weight, I really struggled. Before that, I was okay.
Okay.
But that we're about to circle back around to that.
Right.
Anyway, I went to the doctor. I was told I have a lot of issues. I'm pre-diabetic, all these other things, you know, all the things you don't want to hear at the doctor, of course. And that plus, I was kind of feeling down one day, and my dad decided, you know what, I'm going to take you to get you some clothes, you know, because I haven't really had any good clothes. And
how old are you at this time?
I was 31.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 35
so this is the beginning of your second journey.
Absolutely.
The one that has seemed to take.
Yes. Well, anyway, we went to Simpsonville to the outlet shops, and I remember I was trying to find a jacket. I needed a new jacket because it was, you know, it was middle of winter in Kentucky, and it's ridiculous.
Winters here are something else. They're 60 degrees, 80 degrees one day, and then you're negative 20. I don't know. Okay, not negative 20, but the weather is. Winters here are actually pretty crappy, in my opinion, because they're all over the place.
Yeah. Well, they say if you don't like the weather, just wait an hour.
Yeah.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah. I mean, it's something like that in Kentucky.
Well, I remember I went up there. I went to the Columbia jacket store, and I was getting help by one of the associates there. And I remember I tried on a bunch of jackets. I tried to. Not a single one of them fit me. And
that just did not help with the depression.
It did not. Though it did help me with a few other things, because my dad ended up buying a lot more because he knew I felt bad. But the guy told me, is like, you know, we don't have your size here, so you need to get online. You know, you need to buy it online. And I don't know, that for whatever reason got me. That's kind of like, okay, it's time to make a change.
Right.
And I remember I thought about getting a personal trainer, but when you're that heavy and you think about the journey to get back down, it feels like it's overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? In your head, you feel like you can't get there. You know, you have to push yourself.
Because you realize how much work it's going to be.
Yes.
And it's not something that you can like fix in a week or a month or even 6 months, even a year.
Well, that's funny you say that. Well, Well, anyway, we were talking about my trainer. I just got online and I just looked up trainers, and I just saw Deloyd on a. I saw him on. I don't remember exactly what the site was, but they had multiple trainers, and he was close to where I was, and I wanted to give him a shot. And I went there. I was one of his first clients actually.
Okay.
And I guess I was kind of his guinea pig. And I remember the first 2 to 3 months, something like that, I did a boot camp with him, and I lost 40 pounds in like the first 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it like a cardio strength based kind of workout?
It was very much CrossFit stuff, but they had a lot of TRX. I think it's TRX bands, stuff like that. Yeah, and they had some weight training as well. I think it was a 3-month program, something like that. But I ended up losing that much weight.
Now you told me you pretty much on average have been going 6 days a week for 4 years now.
Yeah.
Did you start off?
Yeah.
So like when you committed, you jumped off the deep end and you're like, I'm going for this.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing about me. Like, I don't always, like, anytime that I have my mind set to something,
right.
I'm going to do it. And if I don't put everything I have into it, I'm not going to do it. So I pretty much knew that going in. And we worked a lot with, like, machine stuff to try to get me used to it. And I remember he told me, he was actually told this story not too long ago. He says, all right, run through that wall and I'll get you out of shape. I would have run through that wall. That's just my mentality at the time, But I lost.
Well, not everybody has that mentality going into it,
and not everybody can do that.
Right.
I don't know. I do really well with structure. So whenever I have like structure in my life, when I first start something, I do really well at it. Anything I'm told to do, I will do it. Just to kind of like when it comes to like something like fitness or something like that.
Right. Because you didn't have that knowledge base either. I mean, you probably do now. Like I bet after 4 years, you could probably sit down and create your own program and have a pretty good guesstimate of how that program is going to work for you.
Absolutely. But fitness is a fluid process. Yeah. You are always learning. You never
literally I'm learning. I was watching videos on the knee today to understand how the knee worked better because I'm working on these knee recovery programs because my knee is so bad, and I know I'm not the only person out there that are having daily knee issues.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny because like I remember somebody told me a long time ago that my squat was better than most people because I was lifting 300 pounds just to stand up. So
wow. Right. So you're used to it.
Oh yeah, I was used to it. Yeah, which I don't really do squats anymore. Which
we've talked about that a little bit. Yes, we have.
But yeah, basically after the first year, I lost 100 pounds. Like I lost 100 pounds
That's fantastic.
The one thing I will say though is my journey is really hard to handle because I'm very strict on myself. My diet was very strict. It probably was less calories than I should have been eating. I think I was eating anywhere from 15 to 1,700 calories.
What? That's not horrible. It's like 8 pounds a month, 8.5.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's doable, absolutely doable.
Well, but it wasn't such a large if you were losing 20 pounds a month.
Yeah,
that could be really bad.
But well, I had a bit of a head start on that first 3 months because I lost that 40 pounds,
and then that really helped kick it into.
Yeah, but I learned after that the weight comes off a lot slower.
Well, yeah, you took that that beginner weight off, and now you're like, oh, I got the hard weight now, the stuff around my stomach.
Well, yeah, and I also might have enjoyed summer a few times, with for a month, but who doesn't? I may have gained a little bit of that back, but it's not about. That's the one thing I learned. It's not about your failures. It's about what you do about your failures. You know what I'm saying? If you fail, don't
recognizing them and then not going back and doing the same thing over again.
Yes. If you recognize those failures, and that's a teaching moment. You learn from that and you'd be better.
You would hope.
Yeah, you hope.
People that learn from it grow in life. People that don't, well, you know those people. We all know those people.
You're absolutely right. Well, circling back around, I went back to the doctor. Okay. After I lost all that weight, and I remember I had no more sleep apnea. My liver was healed, and I'm no longer pre-diabetic, and all of my blood pressure is good. Everything so far has been good. So that's the big thing about fitness with me. When I got into it, you get into it for looks, or you get into it to get the girls or whatever. The most important.
You just wanted to live longer.
I just want to live longer. That's what I want. It's like I'm not on this earth for a long time, but it's going to be a good time. I want to make sure it lasts a while.
100%. Mm-hmm. So food. Let's circle back to the beginning and kind of walk through that journey of people have problems with eating food.
Yes.
I mean, even I mean, I'm sure you do sometimes. I know I definitely have my breakdowns where I'm like,
Yes.
I'm going to get some Chinese today or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Chinese is amazing.
It is. And I just tell myself, it's chicken, protein.
Yes.
All that sauce, it doesn't have that much sugar.
No.
But so what were your meals like? Like, how did you get a dietitian? Did your trainer help you out with food? Like how was your food journey during this whole entire thing?
I'll be honest with you, the food journey was actually easier for me.
Okay.
And that's the weird part because it was very structured. What I always say this, I don't recommend how I did it for everybody because I do well with I do the same thing every day sometimes.
So you could eat the same hamburger, same thing for breakfast.
Yes.
And
I'll meal prep.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can do it for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like eggs to this day, I pretty much avoid eggs like the plague. I hate eggs.
I still switch it up though. I mean, like what I'll do is
But you could just eat eggs every day if you had to.
Oh yeah, I do.
If that's what it took to give you the fuel that you needed.
Yes.
And that's the meal that worked for you.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that 365 days.
Absolutely. If I got the best performance out of this one meal, that's the meal I'm eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at food differently now than I once did. Now, of course, I still like the good food every so often, but I look at food more as fuel now. Like I look at, okay, if I eat this, what will this benefit me for in the gym? Or what will this benefit me more going forward? You know what I'm saying? So I have a different relationship with food, which I hate that you saying that term with food because, you have a relationship with people, but
people do.
Yeah.
They're emotional eaters. And I mean, I've talked about this client a few times. She's amazing. But when I started out with her, that was our problem. Is that she had some things happen in her life when I first started working with her that caused some emotions because she was going through some stuff, and she'd eat. Like the greatest thing about it was that she did do that MyFitnessPal, and she kept up with it. She didn't lie to me. She kept up with it vigorously. So, but I'd get on there and I'd see like donuts, I'd see cake, and I'm like, well, at least she's being honest with me. But we're gonna have a talk, right?
Yeah.
And it took me, and I think part of it was like me as a coach, right? Because when it comes to food, more than helping you figure out what to eat, it's teaching you how to eat, how to change your habits so that you don't become an emotional eater, so that you can stick with it. And it took me a couple months to learn her well enough as I was training her, and I think this year she's down, 25 pounds. So not as much as I'd like her to be down. But she is trending in the right direction. She has changed her diet. She has confidence again. She is proud of herself, as she should be. But again, she had a really bad relationship with food.
Yeah.
She'd have a stressful day, piece of pie. She had some family stuff happen. Completely fell apart for the weekend.
Yeah.
She was always honest with me, and it just took me a while to learn how I needed to help her stay accountable. And for me, I learned that it was multiple messages throughout the week. And it was getting her to do the scale every other week.
Yes.
And then what we did is we did it week by week, starting off. Like when I realized that okay, this is what we're gonna try to stick in with this week. And then after 2 or 3 weeks of doing that week by doing it 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
We started losing weight, and then she was like, all right, I don't necessarily, and now I don't have to hold her hand as much. Like, she just knows what to eat, and she's slowly still losing weight and staying on top of it, and her body feels great. And even when I first started working out with her, if she had to get on the ground, she'd have to have something to help pull herself up, Now she doesn't. She just gets up.
That's amazing.
Like, she has functional movement in the almost year that she's been with me that she didn't have a year ago. She's doing things that she couldn't do a year ago. So while we still want to lose more weight, even with the weight that's on her, she's so much stronger. Because you got to realize in the year, there's no way I haven't put some muscle on her too. Because I've been having her do strength training. So I have her do a lot of 3 and 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps, some more hypertrophy type stuff. So she may have lost 25 or 30 pounds, but I bet you she's put on 4 or 5 pounds in the last year, maybe more. So she technically has lost more, but she's so much stronger. She can do things she couldn't do a year ago. And I'm so proud of her. But again, it goes back to that relationship with the food.
Yes.
And how I had to find a way to coach her through having a different relationship with food. And it was always emotional for her. She would just have something would trigger it, And next thing you know, she spiraled out of control, had 3,000 calories.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about any progress going forward is amazing progress. That's an inspiration right there. And what you were saying about building muscle, a lot of people misunderstand. Like when you build muscle, that you have I forget exactly what the term is, but that increases your NEAT, non-exercise thermogenesis, something like that, whatever it's called. But basically, you burn more calories as you're stationary. So.
Keenan's over here like trying to pick up the water bottle I just dropped.
Well, technical difficulties.
And he's getting me another water. He can see that I need my hydration.
But
oh my gosh.
Well, you're absolutely right though. Like nutrition, everybody says that the hard part's the gym. That is not true. I mean, well, it can be difficult to actually get the motivation to go in, but the diet is what's the most difficult because that's what fuels your workouts. If you don't have a good diet, you're not going to have good workouts. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
You're not going to be pushed through, for
no,
sure.
Yeah. You'll gain weight. You know, they say it's very, very hard to outwork a diet or bad diet.
Right.
So
I will say I 100% believe you can.
Yeah, you can.
These CrossFit athletes, and we're not talking competitive CrossFit athletes, just people, let's say, that do CrossFit 5 or 6 days a week and then do other activities on top of that, like go hiking.
Oh,
yeah. I've known a couple of them, and I mean, I honestly believe like one of them one day, he actually it's Wildcat, the owner of Wildcat, Aaron.
Oh, yeah. Aaron.
So like I'm talking to Aaron one day, and I used to bug him with all kinds of like questions because it's like when I first got into lifting and like working out like 4 or 5 years ago, and I didn't know shit, and I'm a photographer, so like I did photo work for his gym in exchange for a free membership. So I went in there all the time. I'd always be talking about him. And I'd ask him stupid questions, knowing like food questions, like if I kind of eat okay, but I still get enough protein in, like, am I going to be good? And I think eventually he just got to the point where he's just like, I'm just going to tell this kid that like it's all good because like apparently he's just not getting the message here. But there was one day I was talking to him, and he's like, I think he's drinking a milkshake, and I'm like, don't you have like a competition coming up? What are you doing drinking a milkshake? And he's like, man, I'm doing anything. I can't get enough calories in my body. And he's like, I'm eating like 5. He's like, I'm eating milkshakes. I'm doing cake. Like, you know, he was like, I'm just trying to get calories. Because this is when he was doing, I think, like a CrossFit workout, then running like 3 or 5 miles. Like, he was just burning through so many calories.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but if you try to eat 4,000 calories of like chicken and broccoli and like just high protein, high fuel stuff, you have to eat like. Even a pound of chicken's not. What is? I don't even know how much a pound of chicken.
Like calories?
Yeah, I think it's like 1,500 calories.
Yeah, something like that.
It's not that many calories.
Oh, no.
But then you can go have like 10 pieces of Chinese, which is like a tenth of a pound, and it's like 2,000 calories.
And it's depressing.
Right. So, but yeah. So he's one of the few people that like I genuinely believe like he probably when he was really trying the best at the CrossFit stuff, and he was doing I think regional competitions. He probably outworked his diet.
Oh yeah. You know what? I stand corrected. You are correct. I will say
but it's
more.
So hard. It's so rare. You're not going to take a 330-pound person or
no.
a 350-pound person and be like, yeah, you can have whatever you want, but you know, like you just got to outwork your diet because you're not going to be able to.
But that's another thing too. Like they're an exception, not the rule. Because a lot of if you look at a lot of the population, I think the United States is the higher population of overweight people. Like they have and I was one of them, and when you are 350 pounds, that's why I say my diet calorie restriction was not.
What was it?
It was 1,500 calories.
How long you held that for a year?
Oh yeah, like seriously.
How often were you doing cheat days or some kind of like
once every 5 weeks?
Okay.
Yeah. I did.
What about holidays?
No. Like I was strict.
You control.
Mm-hmm. I did.
I don't care how strict I am, unless I'm going up for a competition. I'm eating my family's food.
Oh,
that. I am not passing up on that. This food is good.
It's not necessarily about me not eating it. I just ate. I just was very careful to track what I was eating. So I would eat certain things.
But you still stayed within the 1,500 calories.
Exactly. So I just wouldn't eat as much.
So you just stuck with your Did you have macros or did you just stick with calories?
I did a little bit of both.
Okay.
Usually I watch my fat intake and my carbs. Most people get enough protein. I mean, if you eat, you're getting enough protein usually. Most people are getting too much.
Well, I think it also depends what you need the protein for.
That's true.
So, like, for me right now, because I'm I guess you could say I'm bulking. I'm strength training. Or
yeah.
I'm trying to
Main gaining.
Yeah. So like hypertrophy. I'm trying to build my muscles up.
Yeah.
So for me, I weigh 200 pounds. So in theory, I should be eating 225 to 250 grams of protein a day. A little bit over a gram per.
It's a gram per pound body fat,
right?
Yeah.
It's like 1.6 or 1.4.
It's anywhere from like a half to a full gram per. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, if you're going for straight hypertrophy and you're like it's a little bit over a gram per pound. However, I have kidney issues. So your protein filters through your kidneys.
Yep.
So an I shoot for is 150 to 170 grams of protein. So yes, it may take me, let's say, over a 2-year period, it may knock off a month and a half of like growth of like if I had been eating that 250, if I had been eating that 60, 70 more grams of protein a day, it might have sped up my process by a month and a half. But again, it's about the journey.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest thing for people like you and me, we're committed for life. At least I think we are.
Yes.
So, that I'm not worried that I'm losing out on the 80 grams of protein a day in the long run because I will achieve my goal. It just may take me like literally like a little bit longer, but not that long in the grand scheme of things.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It really is.
Yeah. Especially like that's another thing too. Like whenever you look at diet, just in general,
right?
That's why crash diets don't work. Like if you do a crash diet, you're not going to keep it forever. I mean, it's very unlikely to keep a crash diet forever.
I think crash diets are good.
Maybe
for
to
people
start.
that are athletic and like for people that are competing for something, right?
Oh, you're talking about bodybuilding stuff?
Not
like
just
that?
bodybuilding, any type of competition that requires you to change your diet or what you eat. Like a swimmer may eat more carbs the day before.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They have the energy.
Oh, do a carb load. Yeah.
Carb load. But yeah, for an everyday person, I mean, like. I don't know, keto. I know one person actually that they've lived on keto for like 2 or 3 years.
I know a few people, yeah.
And the doctor doesn't understand how they do it because they don't cheat. They just live a keto life. They eat the same thing every day, like you were saying.
But that's the perfect type of diet. But
that's a crash diet to me.
I'll be very transparent
for most people.
Yeah, I'll be very transparent. I am not a fan of keto. I'm not. It's too restrictive to me. But
you need. I am all about a balanced balanced thing between fats, carbs, and proteins. And yes, you change that balance up depending on what you're trying to achieve.
Yes.
But that when you cut out and you're like keto, I mean they cut out carbs completely, right?
Not completely.
Like
Outside
of vegetables.
I did keto for a little while. Like when I was before I started the main journey, I kind of dabbled in trying to lose a little bit of weight. And I lost a lot of weight, but a lot of the weight you lose initially is a lot of water weight. So, like, you'll see those big numbers come down, and it's a lot of water, and you get hooked, but then it starts to slow down a bit because, you're not losing as much water weight eventually. So, but you basically increase your fats. Their macro breakdown is fats, protein, carbs.
Right.
So, you have very minimal carbs, very minimal. Even vegetables. Like, you can't eat certain vegetables.
That's insane to me.
That's what I'm saying. There's no diet on the planet, in my opinion, that should cut out vegetables.
Not that I'm aware of.
No, I mean,
there's the carnivore diet.
Well, Well, I call that the heart attack diet.
There's a few people that have done it that I think
there's
pretty
a lot of
successful with it. Joe Rogan had a guy on, or they were talking about a guy in one of his podcasts a guy that he knows, and he just eats meat.
Well, as much as I love meat, every so often I want to throw in some vegetables.
Well, I can't imagine, depending, especially if it's red meat, how your arteries are handling.
Well, I mean, your arteries, your cholesterol. I mean, eventually, because you're not just eating the meat by itself. You're actually including butter. You're including that other stuff as well. Because you have to include fats and stuff like that. But I mean, it can't be good for your heart.
No. I mean. No, I don't think it can be. I think,
disclaimer: I'm not a doctor.
Like chicken and fish, it's probably your best. You're not a doctor?
No, not a doctor.
What the hell are you doing here?
What can I say?
I thought you were a doctor that lost a lot of weight, and that's what we were here to talk about today.
Well,
being a doctor and losing weight.
Exactly.
So, kind of circling back to diet. Early on in your journey, how did you select what you wanted to do? So, your personal trainer said 1,500 calories.
No, that was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
So was the food aspect mostly you, and you just
Yes.
had that discipline
Well,
or did you get help? Like,
I did get help.
okay.
Yeah. When I first started, my insurance actually provides you a nutritionist, and they basically contact you once a month to answer any questions you have. So
is it a nutritionist or dietitian?
I
Do you
believe.
know if they had a degree or certificate? See, I've got the nutritionist.
See, I think it might have been a nutritionist, but it may not have been a dietitian because they called me. Well, it was one
Did they
of them.
prescribe anything to you?
No, they didn't prescribe. So I think it's probably nutrition.
So they didn't prescribe you need to eat this chicken?
No.
Then it probably was a nutritionist.
Yeah, it was really just questions that I had, like what my goals are and kind of what they recommend for the macronutrients and stuff.
Okay.
But I basically filled in the blanks myself. And that's the thing, like that's what I've learned in this whole process is how many resources are out there to actually help you learn things. But there's a lot of misinformation out there as well.
For every great resource, there are 5 misinformation resources that I guarantee you someone went and tried and like, oh, so you can eat spoonfuls of sugar and lose weight. That was a lie.
I know. I thought the same thing.
Right?
Yeah. But no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Misinformation, a lot of people do that with like views and stuff like that, and they throw out information assuming people are going to pay attention.
V-Stray.
I'm not saying any names.
You know I was going to say.
Yeah, I know. But
Oh.
yeah, you're right. But there are a lot of like actual good resources if you can check the sources and where they come from.
Okay.
Like you can see a lot of like Harvard and like a lot of these types of places that actually kind of give good like macronutrient information, but you really have to kind of experiment yourself. That's what I learned. I would try something and see how I liked it.
Okay.
When I first started, it was the chicken, broccoli, rice. No, I'm sorry, chicken, broccoli, the basic bodybuilder workout, I guess,
See, to me,
diet.
That just gets so fast.
It does. And like that's why I don't do it anymore. I
had to start getting Diet Coke.
Oh, yes.
Sugar-free Diet Coke for some of my chicken meals just because the chicken, I'm just like, I'm so sick. So I just chew it up, and then I use the Coke to swallow it like a pill. Like it's a chaser.
Well, you got to get your protein somewhere.
You got to.
But no, you're right. After about a year, I decided, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
I still will do the meal prep and do the same thing all week, but I switch it up. Like
You were saying you've gotten into cooking a lot more too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've gotten really big on finding healthy alternatives for popular food. Like you can make
favorite.
Yeah, I make
dish. What is it?
My favorite dish.
For a healthy alternative.
Oh, what I've been eating recently for lunch has been turkey sloppy joes. I think they're called lavash bread, like lavash wraps. They're like this. They're like, well, whoever's listening can't see this, but they're probably about a foot, and it's only 160 calories for the whole thing. And you just basically put it in there with a pickle and some spinach, I love
spinach.
Oh yeah, that's the thing about spinach though. It's very calorie dense, so you can eat a lot of it and it fills you up faster. So you can trick the mind, because a lot of times the mind still wants to eat. You know what I'm saying? Even though like you think you're full. You know what I'm saying? You think you're not full, but you are. So what you do is if you add like a lot of like calorie dense food, you can actually trick your stomach and feel like it's full and you didn't have as many calories.
Right. Well, I mean, again, if you have a well-balanced, healthy meal, you're full.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not necessarily, depending on how much you work out, but you're not necessarily hungry a couple hours later. Now, if I go order me some of that General's Toast, it's going to be good, but then an hour later, I'm going to be like, I could eat another thing of that, but after eating 8 or 10 ounces of chicken, some broccoli, and some rice, unless I go, like, especially if I do it after a workout, I'm done. I'm good. I might try to force a protein in, shake a little bit later, or some, like, I really love cottage cheese or the Orkos yogurts.
Oh, yeah.
But for the most part, unless if I ate before a workout, I'm be able to eat another one after a workout, because I'm like, you use that fuel, right? It's gas.
Absolutely.
You used up your gas in the gym, and now you need to put more fuel back into your body. Absolutely.
You should have. I mean, the research has shown different times, but they say you need, depending on when you had protein before your workout, you need to have at least an hour after. Right. So, if you're doing weight training. So I do know that because protein synthesis, I think they said it happens 4 times a day, give or take. So you try to optimize your meals to where you can hit those protein synthesis to build muscle. But that's if you're trying to build muscle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no. Yeah, it also
and protein's very satiating.
Well, and there is a belief. Well, actually, not belief. Doing multiple meals a day. So that's why you eat six. Some people eat 6 to 8 meals a day. But your body is going to function if it's a little bit lighter by having these smaller meals and snacks throughout the day than doing 3 large meals. Because those small meals will help you'll keep moving. Your metabolism will stay up higher. You won't get so lethargic if you're doing smaller meals.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, and it kind of goes back to the protein synthesis thing. Is, you know, as that's happening, you're eating more meals. It should hopefully work a little bit better.
Oh yeah, and like I said, yeah, protein's very satiating. So the more protein you eat, the more full you're going to be. And you know, I know that the funny thing about it is that I told you I ate 1,500 calories for most of my diet.
Right.
I'm eating 3,000 now.
Well, but
and that's
we're now going in the opposite direction.
Exactly.
We actually want weight, and we want that dense muscle weight.
Yep. But that's the thing though. I got to be careful because like a lot of times a bulk. You never hear bulk goes, I'm going to go eat 5,000 calories, you know, Wendy's, McDonald's, you know, pizza, blah, blah, blah.
Saturated fats.
Exactly. Yep. Well, here's the problem. You're building muscle, but you're also getting fat. You know what I'm saying? And like it takes a lot more to cut that off, you know, to actually cut.
Yeah.
You know, so what
which I get for some people that want to get really strong and big. For some people it works. They do that. They get a little fatty over whatever their cycle is, and then when they cut, they don't do any of that crap when they cut. Now, granted, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't think you can live off fast food and like bulk up. Like, I guess in theory you could, but you are harming. Like your body is hurting from that because it's getting the fuel, but it's like getting if you go to the gas station and what's the lowest grade fuel you? Well,
let's say your car needs premium fuel, but you're putting in unleaded.
Yeah, but you're putting in worse than unleaded. That's what diesel. I was going. You're putting in some shit that they don't approve for you to put in your car. That's what you're putting in.
It's been in the can for a week with it been rained in. Yeah,
like that's the shit you're actually putting in. It's not even unleaded. You're putting in the shit they won't put in the gas station.
Yep.
That's what fast food does to the body.
It'll get you to where you need to go, but it may not get you very far.
Yeah.
You know, because eventually it's going to come back.
Out.
Exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of times you'll crash too. If you, depending on the type, what you put in your body will eventually affect you one way or the other. So if you put something healthy in, you know, you'll feel better. You know, you'll have great workouts. You know what I'm saying?
But you've got to string at least a little bit of a time together to do that, to feel that difference. That's the problem. People do it for like a week and like, I don't feel much better. I feel worse. And I'm like, well, it takes a couple weeks for your body to adjust. Probably takes some time for your taste buds to adjust, for you to get used to that. And you might actually feel a little bit better right after a fast food meal because it's like all that sugar and crap that's hitting you. You're like, ooh. But then when your body really starts to digest it, and so that's the biggest thing is that you've got to stick with it for at least a short period of time to let your body adjust, and then you'll notice those benefits a lot more.
Absolutely. And it's funny when you hear people who they want to lose weight, like, I want to lose 50 pounds in 2 months. I'm like, you can't. But they want it.
I guess you could. I'm going to need you not to eat for the next 60 days.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I think it's funny because like a lot of people that I've noticed, and that's the thing that I've had to learn myself for a while. It's like nothing comes easy. What you want in life, and this actually can go with anything. Anything you want that's worth anything in life, you have to work for it. You know what I'm saying? Very few things you just get. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with fitness. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, again, though, it just goes back. It's also like a very slow progress.
Yes.
So you're not going to see those. There's a reward at the end of the tunnel. The problem is that reward is you got to be patient, but it teaches you some really good life skills too. Because if you can be patient in the gym, it teaches you to be patient for other things in life that can be good. Because we're go. You know, we don't. At least a lot of the younger generation doesn't seem to stick with things.
Yeah.
But again, if you stick with the gym and you're consistent, you can't lose. You really can't.
Absolutely.
Unless you're just like an hour in the gym a day and 3 square fast food meals a day, you may not win that battle.
No.
But if you eat even semi-healthy,
Yeah.
you could probably still get away with eating a couple fast food meals throughout the week and be in decent shape.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the
You're
thing.
not going to be in competitive shape.
No.
But you're not going to be in bad shape.
Well, you're right. That's 2 completely different things. Like you said, it's all about balance. A lot of people think they have to cut out everything. They don't. It's all about bringing it into your. I like a YouTube channel called Greg Doucette. He calls it bringing it into the circle. You know, you make your circle, bring the stuff into there. If you make a good balance, then you can fit anything in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're a competitor, that's different. It's like if you go for a sport, you can't do certain things because it's going to affect your performance.
Yeah.
You know, so it's all about
Unless
what
you're
you're.
Michael Jordan, and apparently you drink and eat pizza the night before a major NBA basketball finals game.
God, wouldn't we all love to be Michael Jordan? I mean,
Some of the stories that I've heard about like what he did before major games in his career,
Oh,
I'm just like, yeah, if I did that, I would have a really bad game.
so I don't know. It would be more fun to be Jordan or Rodman.
That guy lived an interesting life.
He did.
He didn't start out that way though.
No, and that's the funny. I assume you watched The Last Dance.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a great.
I was great.
Really good. I'm a big Michael Jordan. I'm a big NBA fan. Michael Jordan, of course, because you just got to respect him as a legend. But yeah, I thought they did an excellent job with the documentary.
Well, a little sidetrack. So, who's the GOAT, LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Hands down, Michael Jordan.
Okay,
I
good.
don't think. Okay, here's the thing.
Yes.
If you want to go up straight up skill set,
Yes.
I still think Jordan has LeBron, but I think LeBron is right there as far as just a great player.
He has more of a case.
Here's the problem with LeBron. He's a big baby.
Yes.
He complains, he whines, he can't handle criticism, he can't handle mainly his arrogance can't handle feeling like he's any form of dethroned, that he's not the greatest. And that's the thing about Jordan. Jordan, at least in my opinion, he knew he was the greatest. I mean, he put it out there, but he didn't. He backed up. He talked shit, but then he backed it up. Where I feel like
Absolutely.
LeBron will talk shit and then just be like,
And whine about it.
and then like get knocked down, and I see him like trunking down the court, like taking his time to play defense, and he's like, "Oh, they made the shot. Now I can get an easy 2-point because I'm waiting." You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's not playing defense, and I can't stand that. Like Jordan got knocked down. That dude probably got up, told whoever was guarding you, "I'm taking him," and you got the shit beat out of you on defense because you pissed him off.
Oh, Jordan would do it himself.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Jordan would do that. I mean, I think there were times that Jordan probably went over to like, "No, man, switch me. I'm taking him."
Oh.
That dude pissed me off.
Back in the 90s, you watch them play. They beat each other up. Like now, basketball now, like NBA now, it's a lot
Fast-paced and scoring.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. It's not the same.
So you got guys like Westbrook that I love because they still got the attitude. Even Patrick Beverly is I don't like his attitude sometimes too, but he's got that old school mentality.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game has completely changed, and there's not the heart. There isn't heart like there was in the 90s.
A lot of it, like back now, the paychecks are so big that it feels like a lot of the love for the game is not there anymore. They're more there for them. Now, like I said, this is completely speculation on my part. I don't know for sure. I don't know them. But by the actions that they do, there's not as much love for the game now as there once was. You know,
but I do think like Jordan kind of changed the way people worked out and built their bodies for basketball.
Before him, they were smoking on the side. Yeah.
I mean, I think he was still smoking cigars.
Well, not on
and probably weed and everything else, along with his gambling. But he did change the way that
you train.
And it might have been more his trainer, right? What was I can't think of his
I don't remember the name.
But it might have been, but they worked on very specific, like they would target very specific muscles in the body because he needed them, especially when they were going up against Detroit. He needed to be able to get to be able to get hit and like not get knocked down. Like he needed to be stable, and I that's what his trainer did. He made him stronger and more agile than he was before.
And that's a great example of fitness in general. It's always evolving. Like, if you look before all that, they didn't work out that much. You know what I'm saying? And then Jordan came in and changed the game.
Right.
He became the GOAT because he had much better conditioning than pretty much anybody else because his training was next level.
Yeah, it was.
know?
It was what was, and I think it's kind of what we modernized in today's
Yeah.
training, and it's developed a couple more times since then.
Oh yeah, and it will again in 20 years.
And his mindset, he really had a conqueror's mindset.
Yes.
Like if he had been born hundreds of years before, he would have been leading an army conquering. I mean, he just had that like I'm gonna fucking win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I don't give a shit,
And he usually
I'm
did.
gonna win. But yeah, so you've completed year one of this where we're at 4-year journey. Down 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts you at 250. What were the next couple of years like? Food, working out, trainer, like what are some things that you ran into that you had to work around potentially, or like you had a bad month? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like what allowed you to stay motivated over the next 3 years, and what might have tripped you up and you had to fight through?
I set small goals for myself. Anytime that I always had an overarching goal. Like I knew where I wanted to eventually be, but I knew if I kept that as my only goal that I'd get discouraged. So I set, I want to hit this weight by this time, and I'll have a cheat day once I hit that goal. So
oh wow, okay.
That's kind of what I did. Like I used the cheat day as more of like a reward for meeting the goal that I wanted to get. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but then the moment I had that cheat meal, back to it the next day. So that's kind of what kept me motivated.
How great and horrible was the cheat meal?
Okay. It depends on the cheat meal. Let's just say there was a lot of hibachi. Let's just say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I love cheat meals.
Yes.
I cheat. I mean, when I do my cheat meal, I cheat. And I feel lethargic as shit sometimes. Yep. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't want to feel like this again for a while. I mean, it was great. The problem is it's great going down, right? The food is so tasty.
Yes.
Like right now, I could go get some Taco Bell. Like, who's going to deny that Taco Bell doesn't taste fucking amazing, right?
Oh, yes.
All right. And I could put it in front of me. I could eat it. I could love it. And then, like, 10 minutes later after I'm finished, I'm like, this is why I don't eat this.
Instant
I feel
regret.
like complete crap. And you think I'm going to go work out after doing that?
Oh, no.
Hell no.
It's nap time after that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nap time. I'm going to bed early, guys. Sorry.
Well, a lot of times what a lot of people will do is they will be down on themselves after they have a cheat meal. Or if they...
And then they'll have another cheat meal.
Exactly. That's the problem. Like, you got to... I hate to say it this way, but it's kind of true. But you have to forgive yourself for messing up.
Well,
you
it's
know,
like a mistake, right?
Exactly.
You have another cheat meal, that's a mistake.
And guess what? The next day, get back onto it. Or the next meal, get back onto it. And that's why a lot of time you hear cheat days. I don't do cheat days. I do cheat meals. And basically my entire diet up until that cheat meal is adjusted. So, like, let's say I know that I'm going to have a certain type of food. I can really fairly well eyeball calories of things. I'm decent at it.
After you've done it for a while,
Exactly.
I can too. So
Yeah.
I could probably sit down right now and give you a rough guesstimate of how much protein I've had today. Close on the fats. I don't know about my carbs, but mainly I could like in my head as I'm eating throughout the day, because I don't have time to put this on MyFitnessPal every day.
Oh, yeah.
But when you've eaten enough chicken, a gram of protein.
I think 1 gram is like 9. It's 9
fat.
Oh,
so
fat.
1 gram of fat is 9 calories.
9 calories.
And then carbs and protein are 4 calories.
4, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, but you have 10 ounces of chicken. 10 ounces of chicken is what, like, an ounce of chicken is 6 grams of protein?
Yeah.
7 grams of protein?
Something like that. You're asking me to do math.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. I know. I promised you no math when you came on, and now I'm going back on what I told you.
I forgive you.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. But yeah, so yeah, like you eat X amount of grams of chicken, like in your head you're doing that, or you do your smoothie in the morning, you do the same smoothie every like I don't change my ingredients up a lot, so it's pretty much the same protein powder, milk, whatever I put in there. So like I know it's 40 grams of protein.
Yeah, exactly. That's why when you first start out specifically is really you want consistency.
Right. So it helps to put it in MyFitnessPal because it keeps you accountable.
Mm-hmm.
It also breaks stuff down to where you're like, oh, okay, I went 200 calories over my thing today, and I was like, it was that extra piece of cheese or whatever it was that I had that day. I need to not do that tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And then over time, you're 4 years into it. Over time, you get better at it. And then for some people, like the client I was talking to you earlier, does MyFitnessPal every fucking day and sticks with it.
Yeah.
But that's for her. That's her accountability.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when she physically sees it, she's like, okay, I did good today. And then when she doesn't, she's like, okay, I need to do better tomorrow.
Tracking your food, especially in the beginning, is, in my opinion, paramount. Like, because a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to have a salad. It's like, okay, it's lettuce. It's a salad. It's healthy for you.
Iceberg lettuce don't have shit in it for you.
Yeah, but guess what? When you put, was it a cup of ranch on it? That it takes.
Hey, don't take my ranch from me, okay? I need my condiments.
But yeah,
but you're right.
Yeah,
that teaspoon, is it a teaspoon? I think it's a teaspoon is 80 calories.
Wow, that's more
100 calories. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah,
and a teaspoon ain't that much. Like,
no,
you need like 5 teaspoons, honestly, for a decent size.
Well,
and now you got what, 4 extra 100 calories or something?
Oh yeah, and I have to give my girlfriend credit for this. Actually, she taught me a way to eat a salad to where you can get your ranch and not have as many calories. You dip the fork or whatever you're eating it in the dressing, and then put.
So
it
you have just enough to get it there. That's actually a great idea.
It is,
because you could probably do it in 1 teaspoon that way.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Do
you just do grilled chicken usually?
Usually. Well, it depends.
Or
like
salmon's good on a salad too.
Well, salmon's really good for you anyway. You need omega-3s. Like a lot of people.
I take fish oil
me too.
Supplement wise, so I don't have to worry about. I think I take enough. I take 1 a day. That should be enough.
I usually take 2. I take 1 in the morning and I take 1.
Really?
Yeah, I take 1 in the morning and 1 after the workout.
You do multivitamins as well?
I did, but I get enough of my vitamins. Really, the only supplements I take right now are I take vitamin C, I take fish oil,
vitamin B is pretty important too. B12, I think, is what you want.
Yeah, I think I get enough of that in my diet though. That's the thing. I really track a lot of those vitamins.
Right. Do you take creatine?
Yes. Yeah, I take creatine with my pre-workout before I go to the gym.
Oh, I hate pre-workout.
I know.
So I do beta-alanine, which
Mm-hmm.
is the main ingredient of pre-workout.
What is it?
Beta-alanine.
Yeah.
So I do just beta-alanine.
Oh, really?
I order just so here's the problem with pre-workout for me.
Yeah.
I do caffeine, but pre-workout has an ungodly amount of caffeine in it.
It does.
And it makes me the beta-alanine, that's what gives you the pricklies, right? Mm-hmm. Do you ever get the pricklies?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the beta-alanine is what gives you the pricklies.
Yeah.
But then the caffeine mixed with the beta-alanine, for me, I'm just like, it's like a drug to me. I'm like in the gym and I'm like sweating and I feel like anxious. I hate it.
Yeah.
So I don't do pre-workout. And I just get the beta-alanine, which is the recovery, which is what really helps you out during the workout anyways.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the caffeine. I'm sure the caffeine helps you push through for some people. But for us real gym goers, we don't need caffeine, okay? We don't need the pre-workout. We just get it done.
Yeah.
No, pre-workout does help for some people. I really do believe. But anyway, so I just take the beta-alanine and then with BCAAs.
Yeah. BCAAs I normally only take if I am like I tell you I'm on a cut.
Yeah.
Because normally I can get enough of the amino acids and stuff like that when I'm actually by bulk diet or something.
I just don't take a chance. I figure like my body can process it, and over time if it helps a little bit, that adds up.
Oh, absolutely. Really, for me, it's just not wanting to pay for an extra supplement.
Yeah, it's like an extra $30 a month. Yeah, I spend like $200 a month just on like vitamins and supplements.
Oh yeah,
and really all the stuff I take, I'm not taking anything like under the counter or like illegal. Like I'm literally just taking regular supplements that you buy on Amazon, and it's like, man, shit is expensive.
It gets expensive. I will say, like, the protein powders are like I told you about my protein shakes. I told you about that the first thing in the morning, and we were going back to the diet. And I didn't bring this up. I like to make things like, for example, when I first wake up in the morning, I called it a shake, but it's really a ice cream treat. Like, that's what I make in the morning. Ice cream.
Yeah, you were explaining it to me.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna have you come over and make it one morning with me.
Oh, don't worry, I got you. It's very easy to make, but all it really is just making a thicker version of a protein shake to where you can eat with a spoon instead. Because when you drink the shake, it goes a lot faster. You drink it really quick.
Right.
But when you actually have to spoon it, like actually,
but you have casein protein, right? Is that what you use?
Yes, because it's thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use casein protein. But what you do is you actually can eat it with a spoon, and you put a little PB2 on it, and it actually tastes kind of like a treat. You know, you can actually.
So you're starting the day off with a treat.
Exactly.
I don't know about that.
I
might finish the day off with a lot of treats.
Hey,
start, middle, and end treats all day long.
I'm sorry, sweets every day. I'm just saying, if I can do it.
And then supplement wise, I think what I've read from my understanding is let's say you do 200 grams of protein in a day, you can 30% of that can be supplements, like protein wise. So you can have up to 6. Like you could have 2 scoops at 30 gram whey protein or whatever out of
Yeah.
the 200 grams. Any more than that, your body may not process it. That your body wants the other 140 grams to be food.
It can
Your
convert
yogurts, your meats, like actual physical food.
You got to be careful because it can convert to fat. So, like, I think they now this, from what I understand, is that anything you eat in excess that you don't burn off, it can be stored as fat.
Okay.
Protein or any of that stuff. Now, protein's a lot harder to get there because it has to go through a lot of different processes to get to it. That's why I eat less fat.
You can train your body to do anything. So,
Yeah, of
like
course.
people that are on a high protein diet,
Yeah.
over time their body will adjust to utilize protein more efficiently.
Yes.
Same thing with fats or carbs, like up to a certain point. If you are active and you're burning through those calories of carbs, fats, or protein, like over time, if you have one that you do more than the other, your body will slowly adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're doing a shit ton of carbs and you're not doing enough working out, or you're doing a shit ton of carbs,
Yes.
and that will get turned into fat.
Mm-hmm.
But in theory, if you did a shit ton of carbs and you worked through those carbs, your body would learn how to be more efficient in using those carbs, because that's it. Really, this is all I'm getting. Okay, well, then I'll make this work.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. It's all about trying to keep under the. You don't want to be excessive for anything. You want to keep it balanced. It's all about balance.
So that second year, how you've got another roughly 80 pounds more that you're going to lose over the next
Give or
3,
take, yeah.
So that next year, how much weight did you lose?
Probably about 30.
So it really slowed down going into the second
30
year.
or yeah.
Now, were you changing the way that you worked out too then?
I did a little bit. The problem is that probably towards year 3, like I was still having a decent amount of success. Like,
so you were still over 200 pounds going into year 3.
yeah, because year 4 is when right now I'm in year 4. I'll actually be my 4-year anniversary on February.
Okay.
So I'm getting to year 4.
So you're like really 3.5 years in.
Yeah.
Kind of right now.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
But basically towards the last bit of the year, I started building muscle.
Right.
So like my weight loss journey through the first year, the second year, and the third year really slowed down because I started to kind of transition. So I lost, like I said, 30, 40 pounds or something like that, but I gained a little bit back, and I lost the rest of it in my third year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So third year was really your
Mm-hmm.
probably your best year.
Yeah.
And then this year you're like, hey, you know what? I want that muscle. I'm going for it. Like I'm done. Like fat me's gone. Okay. I'm never going to be overweight again.
No.
Hello, hunk me. Big old muscly hunk me.
That's what I'm working.
Hey, this dude's got bigger. This dude's got 1.5 inches more on me on arms. So I got a lot of work to do here.
Hey, you know what? Looking good, buddy.
I do what I can, but
Hey.
yeah, you do it. You're doing pretty good yourself. So
It's called newbie gains. All
But
right?
I mean, but think about this. I mean, like guys, for those that are actually watching the video, and can see him, this dude is not an overweight individual anymore. Like, he is a fit. He's got muscle on his body. Like, he has completely changed everything about him physically in the last 4 years. And anybody and everybody can do it if you just stay committed.
Absolutely.
Now, how imperative was the personal trainer over that time? Having a personal trainer, because I feel like anybody can lose the weight, but man, a personal trainer has. It's like a teacher or a coach, someone that is going to help you. It's almost like a cheat code, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know much about fitness, and even if you do, I guarantee you a personal trainer is going to have information that's going to be able to help you.
It's kind of like doing an open book test. You do a normal test, you have to study and study and study and study to actually do well on that test. Well, if you get a trainer, it's kind of like you have that open book while you're taking the test. You know what I'm saying? So you're actually getting the knowledge that he has to pass on to you. But honestly, that part, to me, it's important, but not as important as the consistency factor. Like, keeping on you, making sure that you're coming to the gym, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really hard to keep that motivation yourself. Sometimes, like, some people can do it, some people can't, and a trainer a lot of times will help you keep that motivation and be like, be your teacher, be your cheerleader, they can be your counselor as you. Yeah. So, I mean, there are a lot of different things. So I feel like it's important when you first start specifically, to kind of get.
How often was he messaged you throughout the week early on?
Oh, a lot.
Like daily almost?
Yeah. I mean, well, not quite daily, but if
multiple times a week.
Yeah, because I was working directly. Right now, he sends me my workouts.
Yeah, you go through the app you were telling me, right?
Yeah, because I pretty much know what the workouts are.
Right.
He just sends me the plan. But like in the beginning, I was actually going there, working out with him directly. I was working out with him, an hour, whatever it was. And I would also do the boot camp, which I told you about. So I was very consistent.
Oh, so were you doing both of those in one day?
No.
Okay, so
No.
okay. I was about to say, like, my dude at 350 pounds is not playing games.
Oh.
2-a-days.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how I survived that boot camp. I'm not going to lie. I might have cheated a few times, trying to do some of those
So was
workouts.
it like a 30-day boot camp?
Oh, no. It was like 3 months, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
well,
was
it's
it
like 8 weeks. No, 2 months.
Okay.
2 months, yeah.
So you were seeing him like every day early on then?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because of the boot camp.
Mm-hmm. Basically, it was through UFit. You remember that gym that used to be here in town?
Oh, where were they at?
There was one over off Nicholasville Road and one off of Richmond Road, next to the old Walmart.
Oh,
Yeah.
What happened to those?
It closed them down.
I thought they were decent facilities.
Oh, yeah.
They were like a what's the one over off Boston Road?
Oh, Work Anytime.
Yeah, they're similar. They were similar, but a little bit bigger. I liked them.
Well, it's funny that you say that because, like, the boot camp was actually a competition. Like, when you got in there, you were competing against everybody to win something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and, like, I think the grand prize was, like, $10,000. And I remember...
you didn't win it, did you?
I did not win it. And they were really upset because the people that we saw the pictures for didn't look like they were heavy, let's just say.
You feel like you had really done well you feel like you were
Yeah.
very proud of where you got in that 40 pounds.
Oh, absolutely.
In that time frame.
Yeah, and I think they were more upset than I was. I just was happy I got there.
Right.
But I won a free year's membership, and it closed down 3 months later.
No.
Yeah.
I promise it's only like very partially Corona that I'm coughing.
Oh, it's okay.
Not 100% Corona.
See, that's where my muscle. I call it the COVID-19 plus 19.
Yeah, there you go. Well, so I'm not, to be honest, my age and as healthy as I try to live my life,
Yeah.
I'm not scared of COVID at all.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's gonna come kick me in the ass. But I did get my my vaccinations because I know my clients. Like, as a personal trainer, I know my clients are gonna be way more comfortable. Me being able to say that I'm vaccinated.
Yeah.
Versus not.
That's another thing too. Like the actual COVID thing itself. For me personally, I feel like I'd be okay. I'm pretty healthy, and now it would be bad. But I have relatives who aren't as healthy, so that's I was nervous for that reason.
And I get that.
But like, I'll be honest with you though.
Kicked my ass last year though.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I kicked my ass into gear. I was already heavy. I already worked out a lot, but like last year, like where some people were just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna sit around and order food and be lethargic." I was like, I'm gonna work out a lot.
Some of my best progress was during COVID because I had nothing else to do. That's one thing. Like
that's the thing I love to do, right?
No.
So it's like, oh, I have more time to do what I love. Yeah,
And then
push-ups, pull-ups. Man, I was doing so. I was getting up to like 1,000 pull-ups a week, and like 1,000 push-ups a week. Because at first I didn't have.
Wow.
Well, we didn't have anywhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
So we, when it first happened, we were at the YMCA.
Mm-hmm.
The one that Beaumont closed.
Yeah.
So then we went to High Street for a day. Then they closed.
Yep.
Then we went to Planet Fitness for a day. Then they closed.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went to some like rinky-dinky. I don't even know what gym it was, but Buddy had maybe it might have been the one over at Boston that workout anytime.
Yeah.
But then it closed. So like
Wildcat
every day
closed.
for like a week,
Yeah.
everything just was like closing. And then I was like, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like I want to work out. So I started doing body weight at the house. A lot of pull-ups, a lot of push-ups,
Yep.
core workouts. Started getting. That's actually last year's when I got into stretching. Really got into like focused stretching. And it has helped me out so much. And then my buddy was like, hey, I got this house I'm renovating. Like, it doesn't have plumbing. It doesn't have electricity. But it has a massive, like, garage, two-car garage. It was, like, 600 square feet. It's a big old two-car garage.
Nice.
And I'm like, okay. And so me and my 3 buddies all got together and brought all the equipment we had, which was 500-600 pounds in weights and bars. And we had a couple of we had a squat rack and a bench. And then a handful of dumbbells. And then we ended up getting the miniature bar dumbbells where you can put the 2-inch weights on like a dumbbell style. You can make your own dumbbell.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And we just we worked out every day. And like we get together at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we just go for a couple hours. And then we bought the sauna last year.
Yeah.
And then we started hitting the sauna. Like we would work out for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then hit the sauna for like an hour. And what I did is I would download '90s NBA playoff games.
Oh gosh.
And we throw them on the TV. I had an iPad. I just left my iPad over there, and I download them onto the iPad from like YouTube or whatever. And we throw them on there, and we'd literally just be working out. And like there'd be times for like 20 minutes nothing got done because we're like, oh my god, like Michael's going off, like I haven't already seen this game or I know how the result's gonna be. It's like seeing it for the first time.
We'll still get excited.
We would, man.
Yes.
We would just sit there. We'd be like, oh my god, I miss good basketball.
Okay, well, tangent. I cannot watch pro sports much anymore. I'm solely
yes,
college
if we go
now.
down that, we could go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
but
I'm
right there with you.
Yeah.
But watching that old like early 2000 like we watched. I downloaded a couple of the Shaq Kobe like was it 01 or 03 or whenever they.
Oh
won.
yeah.
But a couple of Shaq and Kobe LA championships, and then a bunch of the Bulls that we watched, and man, we had a lot of fun, man. We just worked out and watched basketball. It was a total like guys like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a man cave.
Hey, you know what? If that gets you pumped for the gym, that's what's important.
But that's what we did for a year. So I mean,
That's
like
awesome.
like the whole last year. I mean, literally, we'd all be like, we'd be looking on Facebook and like when prices were, everyone's charging way too much for stuff.
Yeah.
But when we caught like a good deal on something, we'd pick it up, and we just kind of made the gym. And then I moved in here, and I took all of my equipment out of there and put it in here, and then bought a bunch more equipment to
It's a nice gym.
Yeah, it has what you need. You got the row machine, the assault bike, you got the rack.
What people don't realize a lot of times is that you don't have to have a full gym to have a good workout. You can
Hell
actually
no.
do a lot. Well, it depends on what your goals are, but I mean, with me, the gym was closed.
Yeah.
I couldn't go.
Well,
for,
we have those Bowflex, the ones that adjust from 5 pounds to 52 and a half.
but you couldn't buy them. Like they were.
But
all
if you
sold
already
out.
had them,
yeah.
like literally, if you had to, you could have done a 5-day split with just those. Now,
Yeah.
granted, like certain exercises, maybe like a bent over row.
Yeah.
Like depending on where you are strength wise, 52 and a half pounds. That's kind of a light bent over row for some people.
Increase the reps.
Yeah, exactly. But there is a way, like if you just had those dumbbells, or you only had a few people, one thing you could buy all day every day was bands.
Guess what? That's what I bought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can do ungodly amounts of cool ass shit
Yes.
with bands, and a lot of your body parts, especially your lower extremities. I almost guarantee. I bet you even probably have it. I guarantee you probably have some basic imbalances in your lower body.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Bands is one of the best ways to improve those imbalances and then start adding muscle back onto them.
Oh yeah, I had I think mine went up to 150 pounds, and that's another thing we talked about having a trainer. Is I've never worked with bands my entire life, not one time, and
one of my clients doesn't have bands and at least 1 or 2 band exercises in all their workout and throughout their workouts for the week. I have it in everything.
Yeah, but he basically, for the time the gyms were closed, sent me the band workouts, and I was able to do those. And what I did is I would work from home, and every hour I would take about 10 minutes or something like that to do some working out, like work out something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would use those bands every hour for 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? So that's 80 minutes of just straight working out, and then do a full workout at the end. So I basically was keeping myself moving while being stationary at home.
Did it help stimulate your mind for work?
Yes.
Like taking that 10-minute break and
Absolutely.
just not even getting a sweat, but getting the heart rate up enough to
Yes.
where it's almost like drinking a cup of coffee or something.
It
right?
focuses you.
Yeah.
But the problem with coffee, I've noticed, is that you'll crash eventually with coffee. Like caffeine, it's for me. Well, maybe it's just for me, but I'll drink coffee, and sometimes I'll get more tired of it. Like
Right. There's a limit to where
exactly.
Like the coffee doesn't seem to have the effect anymore. But
Yeah.
when you're drinking water all the time,
That's true. Yeah.
sometimes coffee is just like what you need is like just like I need something other than water in my mouth right now. Like I need to taste a different flavor.
Not according to my doctor.
Not a right.
Yeah.
So coffee is I love a good tasting cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
But outside of like the first probably 20, 25 ounces, if I drink that much, it's what most cups are 12 to 16 ounces. I usually do 2.
Yeah.
If I do 16 ounces, I guess I could do a whole 32 ounces of coffee. Outside of that, it wakes me up and like gets me going. I could be fine with or without coffee, I guess, like caffeine wise. Like I could wake up and function just the same as if I started with water or coffee. but coffee does give me a little bit of a kick, and it gives me something warm and tasty in the morning, like before I get everything going. But there are days that I just wake up and I'm like, you know what? I didn't have as much water yesterday. I need to start drinking water earlier today.
Oh yeah, there's times where I'd get up and have 5 cups of coffee. I mean, I'm starting to pull back on my caffeine a little bit now. For the longest time, I would drink. Well, that was another one of my crutches when I was larger. I would drink like a whole liter of pop. You know.
Oh, who did it?
Oh
yeah, I kept soda in the fridge.
Oh yeah, and caffeine.
Looking back at things that I ate in my mid-20s, like I kept Debbie cakes and I kept actual sugar, like legitimate cookies, cakes. I kept that shit on stat at my house all the time.
Oh, it was a necessity for me half the time because when I was in college, I would, let's just say we may have drank a little bit too much, and I didn't have enough money for lunch. I would just buy me them little Debbie cakes for $2 and have a whole box of them. That was lunch.
That's good to eat, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's food.
Oh, my gosh, man. Yeah. Looking back now, the things I did 10 years ago, and then looking at, I'm like, I feel disgusted looking back. It's like, how did I do it? How am I alive?
Oh, yeah. Well, the choices you make, affects your future.
Do you drink much?
Like alcohol?
Yeah.
Not as much anymore. A lot of times, like, I'll have maybe a month where I'll drink on the weekends. But then until this probably last month, I didn't drink since August of last year.
Yeah.
I don't have, like, a craving for alcohol, you know what I'm saying?
But if it's in front of you, friends are hanging out,
I'm good without it.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just want to do it because it's fun.
But the plus is nice sometimes.
Yeah.
But I very rarely drink as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not well, here's the thing. I work out 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So the only day I could technically drink in my head would be like a Friday night because I usually take Saturdays off from the gym. But the problem is that like I know that if I drink, like I would go out with some friends on Saturday night, and if I drink Saturday night, I got that 9 a.m. class.
Yeah. On
Sunday. I already know it's going to affect me, and I'm more upset at the thought of it affecting me. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm like, you know what? I ain't going to drink because I literally don't want it to affect my workout.
Exactly.
And it will 100% affect your workout.
Yes.
You can PR one day,
mm-hmm.
take 2 days off so you could probably get that same weight again, but drink the day before. I guarantee you ain't gonna hit that PR again.
Well, it dehydrates you first off.
It's a mess. I don't care if you drink water. It just throws me off to the point. Like I could drink and get drunk and still get enough water in me, but I'm still gonna be completely. It messes my sleep pattern up.
Exactly.
Like I'm off the next day. So if I drink, I try to drink
on
a day that like I'm just like it's a cheat day. I'm going into a cheat day.
Yep, that's the thing. My life at this point. I mean, I've told you I'm into other things, but my life is really about fitness, my body. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's important.
So much fun.
Exactly. It is exactly. And like,
it's the best hobby ever.
You know, you're changing your body.
You feel great.
Yep, you feel great, and you're extending your life, hopefully. You know, and that's the thing. Like, you're getting the benefits, like physically, but you're also getting the benefits of the future.
Now, if I could just get more people on board with that, I need to get people to like believe in that philosophy. And most people, I believe a lot of people do once they get into it and they stick with it and they realize the benefits.
I feel like people are scared. The commit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever you get into fitness, and that's the thing though, people overcomplicate it. It's not that if you're just wanting to lose weight, okay, it's not as complicated as people think it is.
You don't even need to go to the gym. If you want to lose weight, depending on where you're at.
Calorie deficit.
Say where you were at. You know, at that 330, 350 pounds.
Yeah.
You could have changed your diet and added 2 miles of walking a day, and you would have gotten there. And you might have just now been getting there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like 4 years later.
Yeah,
but you will get there.
Exactly.
Like if you're willing to be there for the journey, but you don't want to go to the gym, like there are things you could do, just small changes you could make.
Yeah,
I mean, I had a client lose like 6 pounds in a month because I just told him to stop drinking soda.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like he was drinking like 8 juices a day, soda or juice. And I was like, all right, like the first week, like so I give every one of my clients a food journal. I have them do it for the first couple weeks.
Yep.
And then we kind of figure out where we're eating bad. I'm like, don't even change your diet. They always do though, which I'm fine with. They always do because I'm not bringing this back to my personal trainer. Like, like with all the crap that I normally eat. But I'm not going to lie to him either. So, like, what do I do here? I'm like, I guess I better start eating healthy right now.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, so we went to, I think, He was doing some ridiculous amount daily. So
Yeah.
I gave him a much smaller amount, and I was
Mhm.
like, do this a day. And then after like 2 weeks, I was like, all right, now go 3 days without, And now I think he's down to maybe like 1 or 2 sodas a week versus like he was doing 4 times that in a day or some ridiculous number, and he lost weight. And then he we ran into some issues. We couldn't like get our schedules synced up.
Yeah.
Because he like had a COVID scare, and so he couldn't come see me for like a week, and then some other things happened. And
Yeah.
he finally comes back, and I could tell he's feeling like bad because he hasn't really hit it, and he hasn't even been doing it himself for as long. Like he hasn't been keeping on his own thing, even though I've been getting on him. He's just like things are just happening. I think he even got sick at one point in time, and he comes back, and I could tell he's just like feeling down.
Yeah.
And we're doing a weigh-in that day, and I'm just like, man, this weigh-in's going to be – I was worried that the weigh-in was going to be bad for him because he hadn't been as strict as he could have in the gym. So we go in the house, we do the weigh-in. He lost 3 more pounds over that period, and I genuinely think it's because while his working out wasn't good, I think he stuck with – he may not have been 100% with the diet, but he definitely like – he didn't veer away from like where I wanted him at diet-wise too much over that couple-week period. And I think that's why he lost weight is because he did enough working out and ate healthy enough that he was probably already losing weight before we kind of ran into that whole 3-week period.
Yeah.
But, but he lit back up. We got refocused,
Yep.
and we're getting results.
The scale can be an amazing tool, but can also be a discouragement. It's all about how you use it, And
you said you were doing it daily at one point in time,
Yes.
right? See, to me, that's crazy. I would lose my shit if I was doing it daily. But
Well,
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, the reason why I did it daily was because weight, and that's another thing people don't realize either. Your weight will fluctuate a decent amount, especially when you get into lower numbers.
3 pounds either way.
Yeah,
Depending on how much
you can go
just by water.
You can do 10. I mean, there's like I went up 10 pounds.
If you drink enough beer.
Oh well, yeah.
If you drink a 12-pack.
No, water.
Yeah, that's true. If you drink,
Yeah, a lot of times you fluctuate. So the best time to weigh yourself is first time in the morning, like first thing in the
right when
morning.
you wake up.
Exactly. So what I would do is I would weigh myself every single day, and at the end of the week, I would take the average of that week. So basically, I would take away the highest number and the lowest number and find out what the average is. So what that told me is that I would do that for 3 or 4 weeks, and I'd say, okay, is it trending down or is it trending up? If it's trending down and I'm trying to bulk, then I will up the calories. If it's trending up and I'm trying to cut, I'll take down the calories.
Right.
To me, that was how I found is the best way to track and kind of get where my calories they need to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, 100%.
So yeah. Now, it's not recommended for everybody because you look at those numbers, and if it goes up 10 pounds, it's gonna freak you out. But if you know what you're looking at,
and that's the thing, if you know.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're Sally Lou over here, just starting to lose some weight.
Yeah.
And you see that happen, and you're checking yourself every day, like that can be discouraging. And I had another client that like that was her thing. Like we would weigh her every week, and I could tell there were some weeks she would get down on herself.
Yeah.
But she was on top of her shit. So then I learned she loses weight usually every 2 weeks. So I make her weigh in every 2 weeks, and usually she's the same weight or she's lost a few pounds. But that's usually every 2 weeks seems to be that period that's good for her. So I stopped. I told her no more weighing every week.
Yeah.
And I think she's had better mood, better emotions. When you see that you lose weight or you stayed the same, is way better than like, oh, I might have gained a pound today.
Oh yeah, and a lot of times it's not always about what the scale says. Like right now, I can look at the scale and I would not probably be happy with the size, the weight.
Like the weight.
Yeah, but if I look in the mirror, I like what I see.
Yeah.
Because I know the difference at this point. And like I said, it comes with time and experience and kind of learning like, okay, well, this is not the result I want. That just means I have to change it. I don't get discouraged anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then don't want to do it.
Well, and also the scale, I can almost guarantee you for both of us, we would be considered at least overweight, if not obese.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Because it thinks that, if they have this much weight on them for their size, they have to be overweight because it doesn't take into account, that's lean muscle mass.
Yeah,
it's not fat.
That's funny because we could be considered obese with like body fat percentages of like 12 or 13. You know what I'm saying? Just because like
your BMI.
Exactly.
If you're going off your BMI,
Well, yeah, if you're going off
which
your BMI,
BMI's
Yeah.
I get it how it works for the population as an average, but it does not work well for people like me and you. Like I bet you my BMI is like a 28 right now, which is like I think obese is 30.
And
it's like because it's completely based off by age and weight.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, but yeah, I'm under 14% body fat. Like I'm not. At least maybe that's the new fat. Actually, in today's world, that's probably the new fat. You're actually fat if you're 14%.
You know what? If that means I'm fat, I'm okay with it. 14.
Right, I can live with that. I can live with that. Oh,
I would say most bodybuilders get down to 5% and they stay around 10. So
I
if
can't.
I'm 4 pounds,
I can't imagine. My sister was dating. You know a guy named Sean Smith here in town. He's a professional bodybuilder. He's actually got his pro card. So she was dating him, and his potassium got super low.
Oh yeah,
because you got to dehydrate yourself and like you piss a bunch of stuff out.
You take diuretics and stuff.
Yeah. And so he was on stage, and apparently I don't know if he passed out on stage or passed out after he got off stage.
Yeah,
but he almost died because he had no potassium. He had such a low amount of potassium in his body, to the point that like he was unable to talk or move for like a certain period of time. Like he was like I think he could like open up his eyes and like see what's going on, but he could not communicate because his body was so shut down, and they thought he was going to die for a second. And I think it took him 3 or 4 days to get back to normal.
It's scary sometimes.
Hence why I never want to go that low. Like like I think 8 to 11% is probably where I want to be at.
That's still low. I mean, that's still even low. That's hard. That's still
8's
hard.
But I think like I comfortably let's put it this way. I could comfortably maintain 13% I think right now and probably eat like a fast food meal every day.
Yeah.
And then like I could probably do like 80% or 60% of healthy eating and 40% of like just whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah.
And I think I can maintain 13% with like my current workout regimen. But yeah, to cut even lower than that, you got to change your diet, and then you've got to maintain. Like it would be harder to maintain 10% and do the same thing that I could at 13%. But
a lot of times people's expectations or what they want is a little bit out of reach. You know what?
Look like Brad Pitt.
Oh, well, look, I'm gonna look like Chris Bumstead.
Yeah, I want to look like one of those guys from 300.
Oh,
which those guys had they had to have had like years of weight training.
Oh yeah,
Like they just got cut up hardcore for like 6 months.
And some of them may have had pharmaceutical assistance.
Some of them might. No, they definitely did.
Definitely
but
did, yeah.
Even with steroids, how ripped they are, you're not going to get that in 3 months.
Oh no.
But you are if
that's 10 years.
Right. If those guys, I guarantee you, all those guys have been in the gym and keeping themselves somewhat fit for the last 3 or 4, 10 years before, and then it's just like, all right, we need you to like do this now.
Yeah.
Your body, like my body's already in shape, so yeah, of course, like 3 months and you can get yourself in shape like that. But
that's the goal. Everybody wants to look like a Greek god, but a lot of times, like you see the Chris Bumsteads or the Fuads or those bodybuilders out there, and they say, "I want to look like him." I was like, okay, you understand that they didn't get there just by broccoli, rice, and doing your workouts, right? There, it's a lot of suffering to get there, and you can really hurt your health. Like you can really hurt yourself.
It actually goes in the opposite direction.
Yeah, exactly.
In that case,
I mean, you'll look great.
Yeah,
but
the steroids that they're putting in the body, the strictness of the food.
Yep.
Let's be honest. I guarantee you, it hurts relationships. It hurts their day-to-day activities with friends and families because when you're that strict, when my sister's boyfriend came on vacation with us, there are so many times he didn't have anything to do with our family because he had to, like, he would not participate in so many things because he had to go eat. Yeah. Or he had to go to the gym. Like when he was on vacation with us, he's a professional bodybuilder, so he continued to take to. Can I talk here? I just like lost all words, but he continued to keep working out and pushing towards his goals. But there were times that like I think there was like one time he was supposed to. My mom like makes these lists and like, okay, you've got to do cleanup after this meal or whatever. And like my sister went to do it. He wasn't even there because he was working because that was more important to him. Yeah. But and then getting your body fat that low. I mean, he almost died. Yeah. Because he didn't have any potassium.
The human body's not supposed to have that low of body fat. Right. I mean, it's just not. Like, everybody's body is different, too. And then genetics has a lot to do with it.
And then the one thing that everyone says, but I don't think anyone ever listens. Yeah. Time. Like, legitimately, those guys, even with steroids, even with rigorous eating, they did not get there. Like, they got there in 5 or 10 years. Like, like where I want to be at physically,
Yeah.
I'm realizing is going to be a 5-year journey for me. Like I've got another 3 years of doing what I'm doing right now to even get close to where I want to be. And that's not even like bodybuilder size. That's just like a Chris Hemsworth, like Thor, like that dude's not bodybuilder built, but he's like jacked, right?
Oh yeah.
But for me to get to something like that, I've got another 3 years of eating healthy and like trying to and hitting the gym 6 days a week. And then maybe I'll be there.
I mean, use your time wisely. That's the thing. A lot of times you see people wanting to get those chiseled abs, but they just go in and do the treadmill or go in and do the elliptical. They don't actually, you have to do your research on that. You have to, I mean, like I said, get a trainer or do your research on your own and know what you're doing.
Because it's specific workouts.
Exactly.
Very specific workouts that like if you want, there's different types of abs, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like you're just like going to lose a bunch of weight and then your abs are going to look amazing. Like, lose weight, but you've got to build those ab muscles up. So like a lot of people do like body weight ab workout.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Do it. It's going to give you endurance. It's going to give you amazing endurance in your core. Guess what though? That ain't going to make your muscles pop.
No.
Like
you look fat.
You need weight.
Yeah.
You need to physically make your core move weight, like your arms, like you're like squatting and chest and every other muscle group that you work out.
Yeah.
You use weight to build it up.
If you don't have resistance, you're not going to get the results.
So abs, while you can have these little tiny ab muscles if you get super skinny and like do like these little 6-minute or 8-minute core workouts on YouTube, which I'm a big fan of. I do those a lot. They're great because they'll give you endurance.
Yeah.
And it makes your core be able to handle, it can handle load longer and stuff.
Yes.
But I also have weight training core workouts that I do where I just use dumbbells or like plates and do different core exercises, which you can't do as many or as long sometimes. But again, I'm giving it the resistance that I need to actually build those core muscles on top of that. But if you really just want functional core muscles, just do a bunch of literally get on YouTube, type in 8-minute ab workout or 6-minute ab workout.
Yeah.
And Athlete X, have you ever done any of these?
Oh yeah.
They're insane.
Yes.
I think I've completed one of them one time where I didn't stop. I was able to go like minute for minute with them.
Yeah.
Like one time.
Athlete X is a beast. I mean, he's a beast. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he is.
Well,
I mean,
he's a PT, isn't he?
Huh?
He's a PT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I love it. Like, he gives out some great knowledge.
PT is good. I mean, he's one of the people that I'm not comparing him to him, but kind of the same program where he will he has different programs for different who they want kind of thing. Because you get that many clients, you can't do personalized for each person. It's just not possible.
No. But I just meant overall, like he's a guy that's really in the personal training business.
Yes.
But he has a knowledge base that I don't.
Oh yeah.
As a physical therapist, the anatomy that you have to know and understanding how the anatomy works. Think about how much like I said today, I was literally watching videos on YouTube on knee anatomy and how the knee worked, because I'm still trying to build this program to help people with knee issues. But I can't fully help people with knee issues, and I don't fully understand how the whole knee functions and what can cause this and what can cause that. So I'm trying to become more knowledgeable. I'd love to have the knowledge base that a doctor or a physical therapist does on understanding how the knee works and the lower back.
You showed me some of those workouts yesterday or a couple days ago. The abductors and the
adductors.
Those are amazing workouts.
Yeah. So they're good. Again, it goes back to bands.
Yeah.
I have one client that I want to get her into strength training. I really do.
Yeah.
But we're losing weight. We've got serious issues with. She has really bad knee issues. Because I think a lot of it's because of her weight, and she already had knee issues prior. So literally all I've got her doing is healthy eating, losing weight, and then everything she does is stretching and bands. Yep. It's all about just getting her body, getting her muscles and ligaments stretched back out so they can work, and we can. So we're almost to the point. I'd say we're 6 months away from getting her under some weight and actually strength training. Well,
I will tell you this, this is kind of going along those lines, because this is actually going back to year one, actually close to the beginning of my journey. I remember I was on the treadmill and I tried to jog at 350 pounds, and all I can feel was my knees just completely feeling obliterated.
Because they took all that, they're taking all that weight.
They are.
And I guarantee you your muscles around your knees were not strong enough to stabilize that.
Oh no, I can jog. I could jog maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
But there are personal trainers that will put people through that kind of stuff, and I'm Why?
He just wanted me to. Here's the thing. My trainer just wanted me to walk.
Right.
But I don't.
It sounded like that was all on you, just doing what you were doing. Like you're like,
Yeah.
you told me to run through the wall. I'm gonna run through 2 walls.
Oh yeah.
Because one's okay, but if you want me to run through 1, 2's got to be better.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about it is though, now I can run a mile in 7 minutes. You know, it's like it's amazing. Like,
and that's what I'm trying to do is a slow progression with
exactly.
her, is get her body ready,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna move her into it. But like, she had blood work I think done at her doctor's, and she came back to me a few weeks back and was like all excited and like telling me about the numbers. Like, are those? I don't know if those are good or bad numbers. And she's like, no, these are great numbers. Like, my
awesome.
doctor is like really happy with me because they were gonna have to do a major knee surgery, and we're looking as of right now. She sticks with it. We're looking at hopefully avoiding that knee surgery if we can keep losing weight and keep improving flexibility and mobility and functional movement.
Anytime you can keep it from going under the knife, that's the because I mean I tore my bicep.
Yeah,
which I tell you,
told me about that.
Yeah, well, that's another story, I guess. But part of my journey, like
we're gonna have Jeremy on again, guys, because this journey of his is probably longer than the hour and a half to 2 hours this podcast is.
I'm going to tell you, it's never ending too. There's always going to be a new good story.
There is,
but
and they're gonna want to hear it.
You want to save that one for part 2?
Yeah, we'll save it. But he did. We will say he did tear his bicep.
I did.
How did you tear it again? I forgot. It was a Spartan race, right?
It was a Spartan race.
Yeah, we didn't even. He knows Josh Simpson, who was on the first podcast.
Yes.
So they work out at the same gym. But yeah, you tore it. Like, tell us the story of the bicep.
Oh yeah,
we got to hear that story.
Okay. Basically, I got convinced to do a Spartan race.
Who convinced you over there?
I have a really good friend named Jeff, and he doesn't like to do things by himself. He likes to.
Is he over at Wildcat?
Huh?
Is Jeff over at Wildcat?
No.
Okay.
No. He works out at his home gym, but he's one of my best friends, him and Ben. And Jeff, he likes to do like competitive things. He like really likes. Oh, exactly. But he likes to push himself to the limit. So, and at that time I wasn't 100% like I don't know if I want to do this because I was worried I was going to get injured. Foreshadowing. But and
the injury that you got is not what you expected.
It's not what I expected. But I will say, like, eventually I talked to my trainer. I talked to a lot of people. I was like, you know what? You should try this, because I was in great shape. I mean, at that time I was 190 pounds, 195 pounds, something like that. And I finally decided to do it. And I trained a little bit for it. I didn't train a whole lot for it. But I did really good in that race. I was proud of myself during that race. Like my trainer went with us. We all did great. And what happened is I was climbing the rope. And I had trained on a thick rope. Well, I didn't.
It was one of those thin ropes?
Yes.
Does it have the knots in it?
No.
Okay.
There was no knots. And I tried to climb it 3 times. I fell down. Okay. And I didn't want to do those burpees. I was tired of burpees. So
that's right. If you fail it.
Well.
Wait a minute. Is it every time you fail it, you have to do 25 burpees?
No. You, let's say that now the only thing that you can only try, the only thing you can only try once is the spear throw. But the rest of them, you can try as many times as you want, unless you're doing the race.
You can't move on until you complete the burpees once you've completed that obstacle.
You either have to do the obstacle or the burpees.
Oh, so you could pick one or the other.
Yeah, so you don't, so let's say that you go and do it and you keep failing and you just can't do it. Well, you can go do burpees and move on. It's kind of like
Or if you know that you're just never going to, you're like, I just suck at this. I'm never good at it.
Yep.
I'm just going to go right to burpees.
Just go right to burpees.
Are there people that do that?
Oh, yeah. You have to do 30 of them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's not great. But anyway, I didn't want to do burpees, so I really tried.
Why
not?
Why not?
Because
burpees are the best.
No, they're not.
No, they are not. They are not.
Well, they're fun until you get to about 60 or 70 or 100, then it's not as much fun anymore. But I only had to do 30, so it didn't bother me too bad. But anyway, I tried to climb it twice using my feet. Didn't work. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use just my arms.
Okay.
Well, that was a mistake because I felt something pop. And and
that's when the bicep happened.
Actually, not yet. But I think that's what it kind of initially started.
Okay.
Sorry. And I remember I did the burpees. I just went past it, and then I was climbing the rope bridge. Got back down, and then I got onto the rings. The moment my left hand grabbed the second ring and I put weight on it, I just felt like a huge pop. And I remember I just went down because I couldn't hold myself up. I'm like, okay, that's not good. I looked down, and the bottom part of my bicep was up. I looked like Popeye.
You don't have a good picture of it though, do you?
I do have a good picture of it.
You're gonna send me that because we're gonna pop it up.
I will send it to you. And I remember I finished the race though. I went and finished the race.
Well, the good thing is, okay. So, did you have any other obstacles?
No, I had one more. I had one more. I had the fire jump.
So nothing that you really needed the bicep for.
No, but it sounded good.
Did it hurt?
Oh well, no, not at first.
So were you able to was your adrenaline going so much that you completed the race and then you're like, oh, okay, I need to go to the ER probably?
Yeah, pretty much. We went to he ended up driving me to the ER.
Okay.
And, but I was out of the gym for probably from October until January.
How was that?
It was awful. And I honestly ate like bad. Like I just
okay. When you don't go to the gym and you kind of get into a funk.
Yep.
How easy is it to eat crap?
It's easy.
But how easy is it to eat crap when you're in the gym every day? It's not as easy for me.
No.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because mentally I'm just like, I need this like fuel. I need this protein. Like, I'm going to use it.
It's also it's to me too, like if you eat like crap and then you go to the gym, you're basically ruining the whole purpose of going. Like
right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I eat bad food either before or after the gym, I just basically wasted the gym that day. I mean, I might get some muscle, but I'm going to probably get fat a little bit.
Right.
Fat,
You're not going to achieve whatever that goal is you're going for. But
yeah,
there's just something about like if I'm injured or something, if something happens, because my knees have taken me out of the gym.
Yeah.
Now I've gotten the knees to the point, even if they're having a bad day, I can fight through it and I can still get workout in. But I'm more likely to eat crap when I'm not going to the gym.
Yes.
And it's probably because I'm partially depressed that I can't go to the gym because I want to. But then if I'm in the gym and I'm consistent with the gym, will you stop abusing the mic? Okay, man?
I'm dramatic.
I can see. Then I'll eat way healthier. Like you said, it just like I'm going to the gym. I need the right fuel and and for some reason it is actually easier to eat healthier while keeping consistent with the gym versus non-consistency with the gym and eating like I just don't eat as well.
And I absolutely agree. I learned that the hard way. I've always told myself that I stopped going to the gym completely during that injury, but I've learned is like if I ever get injured again, I will probably still go to the gym, but you can work your legs. You can
that's
do
what
cardio,
I'm saying. Like, there is definitely things that you could do.
Exactly.
You hurt like now when I hurt my lower like my knee if I can't do leg day.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to the point like right now for the first time in like a year, I've consistently hit leg day every week for like 2 months. Think about that. For the first time in like a year, I've been able to hit leg day for 2 months. Like
that's
consistently,
awesome.
Which is only like 8 times, right? Once a week roughly, and then I do some legs on the Sunday fun day, but. But think about like I'm just kept building my upper body, and I never got a chance to like do anything with my lower body because it was so injured. All I did is bands to try to like strengthen it and fix some balances, and then get it back on track, which is finally is getting there. But but 2 years ago, the same thing would have happened. I'm like, oh, I don't have to work out for like a month till my knees healed. But you know what I mean? Now I just all right. Well, if something's injured, I'll just work around it. Yeah.
Oh, you've
got your whole body. There's a bunch of muscles. There's a bunch of other muscles that need to still get hit. So.
Oh, your left arm's injured? Work out your right.
Yeah.
And your legs. I mean,
I would worry about some kind of muscle imbalance there.
Yeah, but the one thing I'll notice though is that my right arm was stronger, but my left arm caught up pretty quickly.
Yeah, so it probably compensated.
Yeah.
I do remember one time I was working out at the gym, and I'm like pushing. I'm like, man, this weight feels weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
And some guy like walks up to me, and goes. So why'd you put two different weights on each end of the bar? And I'd put a 35 and a 25.
Yeah.
And then I think I had 45s or something on there. And he's like, you got a problem with one of your biceps or your chest muscles or something you're trying to like even out? And I'm like, no, man, I'm just an idiot. Thank you. I straight up was like, nah, man, like I appreciate it. I'm just being an idiot. And I walked over, took the 35 off, put a 25 on. Yeah, oh my gosh.
I've done that with dumbbells before. Like you have like a 50 and a 55 on one or
and
something.
And they look the same, right? They're about the same. They're about the same size.
And you think, okay, am I just stronger on this side? Maybe.
Right.
And then you look at it, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
because of the way that they stack on at the gym. Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. So, but Jeremy, it has been an absolute blast talking to you. This has been a long ass podcast. We've had a lot of fun. But thanks for coming out. We'll probably have you on again. You got any final remarks, comments, anything you want to tell people out there?
I will tell you this. If you are looking to start your fitness journey, understand you're going to fall backwards. It's going to happen. It happens to all of us. But just remember to continue to go forward. Every journey has its ups and downs.
So like just 2 steps backwards, 3 steps forwards, or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, 2 steps backwards, jump forward. Like jump. Like don't take those steps back and let them take additional steps back.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, every journey,
consistency.
Exactly.
I know that we talked about a bunch of different things that help, but outside of a really good diet that you can find that works for you, like if you're not consistent, like it's just never going to work for you.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, your diet helps your gym. It helps the gym, and gym helps the diet. Right. It's a balance. It's yin and yang. Exactly is what it is. So
no, I agree with you. I think that's great advice for people out there. But yeah, it's been a blast. I'm sure we'll have you on again. You and I got to hit the gym though. Oh, like you got to come get a workout with me. I got to see what you're doing, man.
Well, I want
those biceps. I want those 6.5-inch biceps like you have.
Oh well, not everybody can be awesome, I guess.
I guess not, Jeremy.
No,
I'm trying to get there.
No, you got this. Let me go ahead and tell you. I'm actually excited to come work out with you. We're going to have I see your board over there. For those who can't see it, it looks like a really tough workout.
Yeah, the Sunday Fun Day workout. Yes, that was insane. That's a lot of reps. So, but anyways, yeah, thanks for stopping in, guys, and listening to us. And we'll be back in a few weeks with another great and amazing podcast.